everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Haysie Simmer here, and today I have another episode of the Extreme Ultimate Decade Challenge. The year is 1315 and we are entering a famine, so get ready.
Ah. Ah, yeah.
It is the year 1315 and we are entering a famine. As you guys saw when we were back in the early 1310s, when Jacob used to bring his harvest to the castle, the king had mentioned and the other aristocrats had mentioned how the other farms in the farmland weren't doing great. And they were really surprised at the crop yield that Jacob was able to get from the land that the Baron had granted him. So Jacob's farm has always done really well with crops and, their funds. That's why the family has been able to expand. So on the heels of the vampires coming in and the Dark Witch Coven, we also have a famine to deal with. Because of all the tax the King Regent has placed upon his kingdom, their exports and their imports are suffering. Nobody wants to do trade or business with the Kingdom of Avalon, and Prince James feels really foolish right now. I wouldn't say he is siding with good, but he really is starting to see the consequences of his actions because the people are hurting. They're fighting more. The kingdom has a really bad criminal gang coming up, which is essentially fighting against his evil forces of his vampire allegiance. He's also suffering from the food shortage, so it's affecting everyone. I really think that he's just being picky at this point because they, of course, at the castle will get first pick of food, but it is slim picking. I hope he is proud of himself. This is very much his fault because when his father was active king, the concerns of the famine were being brought up to him, and he was trying to invest in his local farmers organizations. King Richard was trying to prevent a total economic collapse and food, but since James was not really interested in learning what his father was doing with the kingdom, he now has to suffer the consequences of his actions. Prince James was unaware of what his father's actions were because he was not interested in attending council meetings. He has no idea how to go about helping this. But of course, the chaos helps the vampires and the evil witches thrive because they thrive on chaos. Their magic feeds off of it and is stronger. And like we saw in the last video, they are trying to drench this land in blood. So every night there will be a sacrifice happening every single day around 3 a.m. from 1315, 1316, and at the end of 1317, a vampire is going to attack one of the families.
Dag. Badish. Pitkubu Koiba?
Awesome. Nimbus.
So as you guys can see, like I told you, we would have the vampires attacking. I don't know why Theodore is crying. He is a vampire himself, but maybe he knew her in real life. But we'll have the vampires attack one Sim who is not a vampire in either a tavern or a public setting every single day until the end of 1317. Right now, we have our first victim, as you guys saw play out in the little recording. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and we will just like watch this proceed. But yeah, the vampires have to drench the blood of the innocent all over the kingdom as per Vladimir's request of them. So even if they don't want to do it, they have to, per the compulsion. Oh, looks like Death is drinking a plasma drink.
Almost. Slickerfoof? One badge licker. One nuba. Kabla. Kabla charbe. Sloof clave.
We have Jacob telling Frederick that the crops are not looking great this summer. They're in a drought, and they have news that the town is saying that there's a famine that has been spreading and that all farms have been affected, and it has officially reached our Alder farm. As you can tell, our tree is missing some holes in the leaves, and everything is kind of just starting to not produce. So we're going to see how that affects our family. Jacob has never been through this before, and he doesn't really have his dad to lean on, so he really only has a little bit of knowledge to pass down to Frederick. And Frederick is telling his dad it would be really great if they could sell the crops that they do have and the animals and maybe get a blacksmithing table so Frederick can still provide for the family, and Jacob is highly considering that. As I said, Jacob was really considering that, so he went to go and check out the ore and mining situation himself. It looks like we still have fish in the pond, so even though they're going through a famine, there is a chance that we can have at least one fish meal a night, but we don't want to over harvest our lake, because when we run out of the population, the family will really starve, and we have 3 separate families to feed. And because of that famine, we have to get rid of all our seed stock. I am just using this soil called Too Hot to kind of show that the land has lost its, luster, and it's not as viable for crops at the moment. Just kind of tone it down a bit and just make it really look obvious what the family is going through for the next couple of years. So I just had to delete the chicken because it kept saying we didn't own the chicken, but now I'm going to have everyone come over here and start to get rid of the animals. So Jacob and Frederick are getting rid of the animals. They're going to milk the goats one last time, and then they are going to trade them for funds, because we have to sell our goats because we can no longer take care of them as per the rules of the famine. Oh, bye guys. Ophelia is going to come over and talk to Jacob and be like, what is going on? How are you going to feed us? How are you going to take care of us? Ophelia is having a full-on freak out. She's lost Connor, she's lost her stability in life. They were moving up in the class system. She still has 20,000 simoleons, and I really think that she is considering taking that money and running to another country, because she does not feel safe and secure, and she's not even from this country, so she may be heading back to her homeland. Discussing that with Jacob right now, and I think Jacob is saying, I promised Connor that I would take care of his boys. I'm taking care of Elijah. I'm going to take care of Eric. Ashton and Christine are already grown. They're of marrying age, so we can, get them established and get them on out of here. And I think she is on board with definitely getting rid of Ashton, because Ashton is a troubled kid. He has been nonstop training is what she's telling him. He's constantly training, saying that he is going to kill all the vampires, including his dad. I have decided what we're doing with Ashton. I know if you guys remember, every time Ashton aged up, he was close to the death number. He would always be one away from the death roll, and how his mom like haunted him after she passed away. So I have decided that Connor has a sense for the paranormal, and he's essentially going to be like a Witcher character. He grew up in the castle, being trained with the princes in swordplay, strategy, lore, education, and he is resentful. He hates the political classes, and now his family's been destroyed by the paranormal. So I've decided that he's super cynical, and he is going to run away and become like a Witcher vampire slayer character. So Ophelia is saying she is fine with Ashton leaving. She uses Christine to help with the kids because Christine was trained to be a nanny and to take care of kids. So she cannot survive without Christine. And Jacob and Tamara are telling her that Christine is of marrying age. Christine needs to get married and start her own family. She can't take care of your boys. And even Tamara's like, if you don't want to be here and a part of this family, you can leave. We'll take care of the boys. And Ophelia is like, they're my sons. Jacob is saying, but I am the man responsible for their well-being, and you will not take those boys. Jacob is putting his foot down because he is afraid she is going to get them killed. And she is like, they're my sons, though, and my home country has no legends and no like Famine. We have nothing happening over there. There's no vampires. There's no dark magic. It is a plain, calm country. And he's like, well, if it's so awesome, why did you leave? And she's saying, well, I left because my parents died and the church took me in and raised me and helped me come over here and build a life. And I just want to go back. I have decided that that is what she is doing. She is going to try to run away tonight, and I'm actually going to roll to see if she makes it, and if she doesn't, I'm going to have her die from a vampire attack. The kids are out here all playing together. That makes me so excited. Oh, look at how sad she looks. Poor Gwendolyn. I think she's worried about like the family and everything going on. All the kids are really, really hungry. Tamara's talking to Francis back there. She is so encouraging to him. It looks like he is also glitched. But yeah, all the kids, I have autonomy off, so they are not going to naturally eat on their own. No one is allowed to eat until the end of the day. This is going to be a little bit harder to manage. Thank goodness the little kids are full. I mean, the babies are full. If we have any food in our inventory, let me check. I might let the kids like eat an apple. Oh, they all have spoiled food. I actually might let them eat the spoiled food because yeah, they might get sick, but I feel like if they were starving peasants, they would eat spoiled food. Oh, it's because it's gone. That's why. If there is any spoiled food, I will let them eat it. Okay, so butter would keep. We're going to get rid of all the mushrooms, the eggs. I think they're spoiled. Flour would keep, so we'll keep that. The bread would keep for a little bit. They'll probably have it tonight. They did just harvest milk today. I'll let them drink that today. But technically, I know carrots would keep, but we're going to say like pest came in and messed up like a lot of their stuff. I'm going to get rid of most items. She did make these preserves. I actually do think that they would hold. I know the rules are different, but what I might do is just give everyone a preserve to eat, and that is their meal. That way they do have food to eat because it says they get to eat one meal a day. So I'm not going to get rid of everything. I actually might keep the meat. I'll salt it. That's what we'll do. We'll salt the meat because she's going to be like, oh my goodness, because of everything going on. Collect seawater. Okay, so she's going to run out and be like, I have got to go get some salt from the docks to preserve our meat that we just got on our last kill because this is all the food we have. And what I'll do is we'll eat all the food in the store. As you guys see, I got rid of a lot of it. We'll eat like all the food in the store, but what we're going to do is call over everyone and share with everyone. That way we're controlling the food supply. I think Frederick is going to tell his Aunt Tamara that he really wants to go find Tiara. He wants to bring her back, and he knows that their family has magic and that Tiara could have the magic to, you know, save the land. And he really believes in this idea. And I think his aunt would say, I understand where you're coming from, but right now family needs you. We're not going to let him go do that right now. Tomorrow, I'm going to let Jacob go to town and buy the blacksmith beginner like anvil for Frederick to start using for his blacksmithing skill and see if that can, get them funds to survive right now. Because I also have to have them pay taxes. We're going to have little Frederick look for frogs. They're all going to be paying taxes now due to the political system we just saw change. I told you guys that the coven wants for the land to have more taxes. We're now going to pay a daily tax of $50 per sim in our active household. So that's $1, $2, $3, $400 gone for our daily tax for this household. But yeah, so from now on, we have to pay a daily tax until things change with the Vampire Coven and their rules. Since I have this on no autonomy to stop them from eating, I'll just pop in and show you guys highlights of what's going on because I don't want to make this episode too boring for you guys. But right now, Frederick is really in his feelings. He doesn't have a way to provide for his family, which everyone keeps saying, you got to stay here and help take care of your family. Dad hasn't gotten him that blacksmithing that he wants yet. So right now he's working on his archery skills. Halia is working on getting that salt refined so she can preserve the last bit of their meat. They have 23 pieces of little bitty like pigeon and stuff like that. There are 8 Sims in this household, 4 in Tamara's and 5 in Ophelia's. So that meat is not going to last them that long. It'll last probably the whole family this year, but they have to ration it out to 1 meal per day. Okay, she can officially make salted meat. It's low quality and it's going to just be enough to keep them fed. She is already not feeling good too. This is the part where I'm really scared at who's not going to make it. Because this is the famine really does eliminate a lot of people's households. So I am so nervous, guys. I can only save 1 sim each decade, and I have not decided. I mean, originally it was going to be Frederick because he's our heir. So why would I not go out of my way to, make him the one I save? I'm nervous. I'm so nervous. So I'm going to have Gwendolyn make some dipped candles with the last bit of wax blocks we were able to collect from our hive before it went away because there was no more crops for them to really pollinate. So our whole hive abandoned us and we no longer have local bees. There are a few bees in the trees that make honey, but none of them are making wax. So we have her learning how to make it now. I'm so excited we have more kids. Everyone is really going to be miserable for quite a while. There is some uneaten fish head stew right here, and I think Jacob and Halia would eat the rotten food to make sure it doesn't go to waste, but they wouldn't allow their children to eat it. There's actually 3 of them, but how hungry are they? Yeah, they're not going to feel good after this, but I do think that they would do that. I'm going to have, Frederick is sleeping. Can the kids do laundry? I can't remember. Yes, they can. Everyone is chipping in. Everyone is doing chores around the house. Is this baby okay? It's just tired, right? Okay, it's getting hungry. Okay, so at 6 p.m., we can officially start feeding everybody. And Francis has chosen to eat the leftover fish head stew that's rotten, so I'm going to let him do it. And I don't think that's going to be a good choice. I can't stop him if he has chosen to do it. So we're going to start off with the mushroom preserves and have everyone eating that who can. All right, who's hungry? Frederick gets 2. Francis gets 2. Let's see how quickly this fills them up. Everybody is so happy to be eating. They're like, oh my goodness. They are so happy to be eating. That did not fill them up at all. Okay, I'll let Halia make 1 meal while I let them. They ate all the preserves. Well, our family has been through a lot, but this is just another thing that they are going to be overcoming. This famine is already bothering them with their limited supplies of food. They ate themselves out of their stockpile. Their finances are struggling due to the tax, and we are eating gruel. It's about to be the next day, so we have to do another vampire attack. All right, everybody. So we're about to roll to see if Ophelia actually does escape with the funds left to her by Connor to take care of their sons and the dowry of Christine and a little bit of funds that also is supposed to go to Ashton. There is $20,000 total. She's going to take 15. Let's see if she survives. So if she gets a 2 or a 7 on this D8, then she doesn't make it out of the country and she dies and becomes a victim of the vampires, and her money gets like stolen. So the money is gone regardless. So let's roll. It's a 2 or a 7 if she doesn't make it. All right, so she makes it. Oh, this dirty dog. So she's going to take 15,000 simoleons. And that is really bad because 10,000 was Christine's dowry because she wanted to marry up in the class of the world. Yeah, so 10,000 was meant for Christine, and then 5,000 each were meant for the boys. So that is really unfortunate. Connor thought he met the love of his life, but unfortunately she didn't love him enough to take care of their children when the life got hard. It's really a sad story for Connor. He didn't get his happily ever after, but all's fair in love and war, I guess.
Ravuda.
Oh,
Lutrip. Kashushi. Neborfibash.
Rumbea Hoopitu.
Esmeratu Francis.
Father Brewer has chosen to drain the Reverend who works at the monastery. We are down one more townie, and the vampires are really drenching this land in innocent blood. I have some exciting news. The second day, it's Friday in the year 1315, and it is Gemma, Ashton, and Christine's birthday to see if they stay as teenagers. Remember, they were accidentally glitch rolled up. So to see if they survived their roll as a teenager, they cannot roll a 7. So I'm going to go ahead and roll for them. What we'll do is we'll look at their little headshots. So here's Ashton. So if he rolls a 7, he doesn't get to turn into the Witcher character. I hope he makes it. Yay, but again, it's so close. This time it's 2 away from the death number, but Ashton always rolls so close to the death number. He is going to turn into a Witcher monster hunter character, but not like a kind-hearted one. He's mean-spirited. So let's look at Christine Alder and see if she survives. Remember, she cannot get a 7. Yes. Okay, Christine makes it. They get to stay. Let's go and hop in on Hinford on Bagley. Let's see if Gemma survives. I hope she does. Like, the main people I want to survive are Frederick and Gemma right now. So I hope she survives. I'm so upset. I can't save Gemma because if Frederick dies from the famine, I have no heir. But Gemma has been through so much. I'm so upset. I had planned for her to fall in love with Robin Hood and come back and just reclaim glory for the family. But you know what? I think I think that's not going to work out. Gemma does not make it. Let's go deal with that.
Aww.
So what?
Reba.
Buckaroo. Scuba.
Shakespeare Zimbabwe. So, we're the dean.
Madonna.
Gebuksa.
Robusveric?
Galba.
Chul.
Woo!
Salvagero Umbra. Conchivo Lava. Nicholas Weasel. Bombzoid Dinfish.
Char. Big Copa
Minnesota Severana. Recolulu Saquinario.
Big! What's up? Oh, God.
Oh! Morbid, no. Karangi Boyf! Oh!
Oh. Glank.
Pumpkin?
Ah.
Urflap Umfra Nibahana. Waxwin Kissanoi Tarzan.
Okay, so I didn't get the death reaction I wanted to, but I wanted it to make it seem like Jedediah used berries to poison Gemma because Calvin found their camp, found Gemma and Robin because they were out here in the woods because they have a budding romance and they were just having a little bit of alone time talking about their futures and their plans. And Calvin finally stumbled across them, told Gemma that your mother has been looking for you since the day you guys disappeared. Your father burned down the house in his haste of leaving you guys, and he is the reason Riker is dead. So Gemma just found out her brother was dead and that her mother has been looking for them since they've been missing and how much she loves them. So Gemma was saying, oh, I want to go back to my mom, see my mom. I want to see her. I can't believe she missed us all this time. She's been searching for us. And Calvin also explained that he is their mother's one true love soulmate. And Gemma just couldn't believe that their mom sacrificed her soulmate. Essentially, she could be happy right now with her soulmate, but she asked him to go and hunt for her children because that meant more to her. So Gemma was telling Robin, I want to go back. And Robin's like, yes, we will go back. And Calvin said, I have a tavern, I have money. So if you guys are worried about not having jobs, places to stay, I'm going to take care of everyone. Help me get the kids. Take me to the camp. So Calvin found them in Hemford on Bagley, but he doesn't know exactly where their camp is, but he is very, very close. Jedediah was around the corner. He heard everything and he came and fought Calvin, obviously lost. And Calvin and Robin went to go get everyone from the camp while Jedediah was like incapacitated. That's what we'll say. And Gemma waited for her dad to come to because she wanted to tell him, like, hey, you are the reason Riker is dead. My older brother is dead because of you. And he couldn't take that. So he shoved Gemma and forced poisonous berries down her throat. And Gemma is now deceased. It is really sad because I wanted Robin to marry Gemma and then her just to become kind of like a warrior vigilante. But I do know Morgan ages up in 3 days and Morgan has a huge crush on Robin. So maybe Robin and her will develop feelings and they will end up being together. It is all in all really sad because I had planned for that to be for Gemma, but the role has decided for me and I chose not to redeem Gemma's life because that's kind of the point of this challenge, to be a little sad. But it looks like Calvin has finally made it, so he is going to tell the kids that their mother is looking for them and how desperate she is to have them. He will let Mr. Merriman know as well. They are invited, but Calvin is going to handcuff and bring back Jedediah, like he's going to be tied up in ropes. So that's just what we'll have to do because I don't really have any mod to make that happen. I'm going to have Robin come mourn Gemma and everyone is just going to go mourn Gemma. But it's super sad. I didn't want to lose Gemma, but if I have one sim I can save this time round, it has to be Frederick. I've already decided that's who I wanted to save. Just say that maybe Robin and Gemma had a budding love, and as I know Morgan is technically a kid, but she's like 13, so when she ages up in 3 days and becomes 16, maybe their relationship will be closer or something and they may bond over this shared experience. Haven't decided yet, but they are going to head back. It is going to take them till the end of the year to come back to the land. Gemma died in 1315, so this is got to be updated. Now you guys can see it, but Gemma is passed away. We got another one. Oh, this is so sad. I am literally, I know I'm smiling because I want to cry. That was a rough one. I was not planning to lose Gemma. Like I had a whole story for her and everything. So now we need to deal with the aftermath of Ophelia leaving. So it is the next morning and Christine and Ashton are talking about this note that Ophelia left them. She is saying that she is leaving them with the boys because she can no longer take care of them and be in this dangerous kingdom. And Jacob has, said that he's responsible for the children, so he will not release them to Gemma. Ashton is not a very kind brother. He is suggesting they drop the children off at a local orphanage. Christine is saying we cannot do that because the vampires might attack the orphanages and use the children who are not wanted first for, means of food. Ashton is saying, well, I'm not taking care of them. I'm going to leave. I have found a brotherhood of people who want to defeat these vampires and I'm going to join them. And Christine has said, well, I guess I will take care of our brothers, even though Christine wants to go and find the Prince Augustine and marry him, or Prince Augustine. I really don't know. So anyway, so Christine is going to watch and take care of her brothers while we have Ashton turning into a vampire slayer. So I'm going to modify Household and Cass and turn him into a vampire slayer. I would like to add that he actually needs to train for 2 years before he can actually slay a vampire. So we're going to say goodbye we're going to say goodbye to Ashton for a little bit, but I'll go ahead and give him his vampire slayer makeover. Okay, so here is our Witcher version of Ashton. He is all beefed up. He is officially a vampire slayer. And I'm going to have him move out. And we will see him again in the year 1317. So we are in the main older household now after all that kerfluffle, and I have to minus 300 simoleons from them. So that would put us at 1963. Yep, perfect. That is due to the taxes that were raised that we talked about. Everyone is crying because Gemma is dead. They do not know it yet, though. So what I am going to do is say they're just miserable due to, you know, quality of life. It's like 2 p.m. and realistically their hunger should be mid-level. So I'm going to cheat it there because I'm going to be playing this famine correctly and it's midday, so they have missed 2 meals, so they should all be hungry. I'm not going to do the toddlers though because I do not want to risk losing them. That is how we will do it. Oh, there is some leftover gruel though. Are the little kids hungry at all? Because one of them should eat it. Eat. Yeah, whoever's this is, you eat their gruel. So it looks like Halya is feeling pretty good after teaching Gwen how to do candles and just basic chores around life. Pretty much just have everyone out here doing basic chores. Halya made a carved candle and I'm going to have her come put up the laundry. If you catch something, we get to eat it. Hopefully I can roast things over a bonfire. I haven't been able to get those fires to work because you have to have wood, but I haven't figured out how to collect wood. So that has kind of been annoying. All right, so we did say we would buy him the blacksmithing table. So I also got a woodworking table. At one point, I'm sure I had a medieval one, but I do know I have more craftable objects. And we have the blacksmithing table. Right now, we only have enough money to pay tomorrow's taxes. So we are going to have our stall open at some point. I'm going to get Halya to paint. I would like to sell her paintings, but I do not have a painting tape, like selling rack. We'll say at 8 o'clock is when they all go inside. There is still a leftover. He has this rotten fish stew. Quite a few. Okay, I guess we're all eating rotten fish head stew. Call it a meal. Everyone's gonna hate it, but we have to do it. And we're gonna try to sell whatever we can. Yeah, hunger is getting really bad. All right, she caught a salmon. That's enough fishing. So we just have the family, you know, trying to make it. Right now, they're pretty optimistic, but they don't really know. We know how long this is gonna last. They do not. So I'm trying to decide, should I sell her painting? That was supposed to be a classic painting, but it doesn't look classic. Should I sell her painting? We'll do it this time. We'll say we can only sell 1 painting a year. That'll only cover, that doesn't even really cover taxes for 1 day, but between that and the candelabra, that will handle taxes for 1 day. She is still not done mopping. Like, let's just be done. I know the house is filthy. It's because this is so full. No fishing, just go, and no making a candle. Use the chamber pot. Search the pockets. And then everyone really does need to go to bed. Frederick is eating his gruel. I'm probably happy he's not eating the spoiled fish stew. And while Frederick does not want to hear this, especially right now while they're halfway through this really rough year and all this famine, his parents are telling him that he has to do this arranged marriage, which we will meet the girl soon. Jacob has already set everything up with her dad, and he's just trying to give his son what's best for him. As Jacob has been the best father, you got to understand we are still in the medieval times. He's still going to tell Ophelia she can't take his brother's sons, even if they are her children. He knows she can't provide for it. So he's going to be, you know, head of the household. He's going to put that down. He's going to tell Frederick, you have to get married. Like, we have to ensure our land is taken care of. And especially if Jacob and Halya are afraid, what if they die? They pass away. Frederick has to be able to take care of his siblings. Like, that's the reality of it. He's the youngest man of the house entering adulthood. So he has to take care of his siblings. Halya is saying, you know, Frederick really loves this girl, Tiara, and Jacob, you know, he doesn't want to hear it. He's like, she was a royal. She was a Gothic. The Gothic line was eliminated. I don't care what Connor says this evil witch from the coven says. It doesn't matter that Adelaide is a Gothic. Jacob doesn't know that. Jacob doesn't know that. I mean, even if Connor says, well, she says her name is Adelaide Gothic. She was kidnapped when the Gothic house was massacred. Jacob is like, this is a wild goose chase and we need real stability. So Jacob is going to arrange this marriage and Halia doesn't want him to, but Jacob said it has to happen. So Halia is just going to agree with her husband because she knows he knows what's best.
So.
Yazub. Bimbus.
Raw, you pull it!
So as you guys saw, Adriel was here to make sure the vampires are in fact drenching this land with the blood of the innocents. And once she saw the job complete, she transformed out of there. Also, I don't know if you guys saw, but she is pregnant. Like we did, we did that in the last episode, but she is definitely pregnant. Look at her. She's congratulating him on doing what the Dark Lords want of him. It's actually really sad because you can see a lot of the vampires are mourning the fact that they have to do this to their people. This is the Baron in the back crying. He's the one who gave the Alder family the deal on the land. So that is really interesting. But if you can't tell, she is pregnant. She's pretending to cry, I think. Maybe it's for cover. Oh my goodness, that Sim was an alien. I'm going to now introduce you guys to the Williams family. Colin Williams, Alice Williams, and Mary Williams. Technically, I have them in the Jedediah old household, the B&B that Calvin is setting up, but that's just because I'm limited on lots right now and I just need this for storytelling. This is Alice Williams. She is a potential bride for Frederick. This is Mary Williams, another potential bride. Ignore the fact that she lost her eyelashes and her skin detail. I don't know why that keeps happening. And then her dad, Colin, is out here. So I'm going to have Colin sit down with his girls and talk to them about the potential of getting married soon to Frederick Alder. They know about Frederick because Frederick's family owns a farm, which the peasant class is very well aware of. Colin is going to tell his daughters Alice and Mary that one of them will end up being Frederick Alder's future bride, that the deal is already done, and basically they are going to have dinner tonight with Frederick where he will be choosing his bride. The girls are very excited. They want to get married. They both have been working on skills. One of them spins thread and the other one makes wicker basket. As you can see, there is food on the table, and this is exactly why Jacob wanted to make this deal with this family. Colin was away on business out of the country, and he came back with loads of birds and harvest good rain. So he has enough to get his family through probably 5-ish years, maybe even 7 if they're careful. They're going to pay 1,000 simoleons, and he is going to give them this bucket of grain so they can make bread. So I am going to allow the family to make bread daily along with their gruel, and that is because it's going to be the dowry of one of these daughters. Yeah, this hasn't happened. I haven't had any bills. They just got billed 623 simoleons. So the family is going to have to pay that today. I'm going to say that is their taxes and their bill because that is a lot of money. Oh, Frederick is giving his sister a hug. I think she is worried about how close they'll be once he gets married and starts having a family of his own. I do know this household is full. I have a plan for that. I'm just going to build a little attachment and use the apartment aspect. I forgot to mention that the family knows Ophelia left. And they also know Ashton left. They know Ashton left to join the rebellion or the rebels. They don't know that those rebels are vampire hunters. And Tamara has been helping Christine look out for the kids. Halia, one last time, consoling Frederick, understanding. I know you love Tiara, but that was childhood love. You guys didn't get the soulmate spark. And Frederick was saying, but that's because, we were just children. Sometimes it takes a long time for that to trigger. And Halia is trying to tell him, well, if it does happen, then you guys were meant to be. You'll find each other. But for now, we need to do what's best for you, and that is you getting married. And Jacob is trying to tell him, it's going to be all right. I know this isn't what you wanted. At the end of the day, we're just trying to make sure you're going to be okay. And I think Frederick understands where his parents are coming from. He's open to the idea of it, but he is scared. So they're all goofing off because for some reason I can't knock on the door. But everybody is now going to be meeting each other for the first time. It looks like Mary did not want to sit next to Frederick. So they're all kind of rotating around. Okay, so I feel like Frederick just organically picked Mary. Let's see how this will go. I think he was trying to see if they have the same goals and dreams, which is why he called her to the side. I want to get everyone sitting down again. Let's make it official for the betrothal. We can have this arrangement. Right now they're kind of talking about when you come over, you will be stepping into our household and taking over as lead lady of the house, which means all sorts of things when it comes to helping us with our children and our chores and the farm. It is done. Mary is now betrothed to Frederick. It says they'll marry when they become adults, but I'm going to have them get married now. It is really happening. Jacob is talking to the future bride. So I'm going to have Jacob sell some trees on this land to build them a little hut, and I'm also going to build a chapel here because the family is really religious and they worship the Watcher, but because of everything going on in the kingdom, they're going to use some funds to maybe make a little chapel here. Okay, so they haven't gotten married yet, but I'm gonna have them get married today. Nonetheless, I'm gonna go ahead and move her over. No, they won't woohoo. We'll just pretend they're not living together. So I'm going to transfer her over with 2,500 simoleons because the dowry is 1,000, and she would move with her spinning wheel, but because this is The Sims and we can't pack furniture, that's how I'm going to do it, so she can buy her own spinning wheel. And then I'm going to move them into the house that I remodeled. So we're going to say this whole year they've been working on deconstructing the temporary housing, because the way they assembled it, they can take down and reuse as much as they can, and moving everything into one super house. I know that's probably not super realistic, but it's a fantasy let's play, so it'll be okay. Essentially, these were little cabins that we had put up for Ophelia and the boys and Ashton and Christine and Tamara, but now we have everybody in here. And as you guys know, Ophelia ran away with the money, leaving the boys here, Eric and Elijah, and leaving behind Ashton and Christine, but Ashton went and joined the vampire hunters. I don't want to repeat myself too much. Christine and Elijah and Eric are staying with Tamara in this room, and they have their own bathroom. And this is the main entrance for the main altar household. Right here in the front way, I just have the candle maker and a kid's station because we gave up our living space to be a common space so we can share a kitchen. I do have a few things on the pantry because, you know, they're allowed to eat 1 meal a day, so I don't want to leave that completely empty. We have a shared tub and chamber pot and a shared kids' bedroom. I know there's kids in here, but just in case they need to go to sleep and they're like fussy, they have access to this room just because I didn't want to put a door in. So I made this a shared space. This is not a shared space, but this is the master bedroom for Halia and Jacob. And this is where the newlyweds, Frederick and Mary, are going to live. Right now they are in there, but let's just pretend that it's just Frederick in there for now. So yeah, we're going to get them married. Today is the last day of 1314. So I have to go do the vampire little moment, but I wanted to show you guys essentially what I did to the house. And I always meant to build off of the house, but because I was having this camera jumping thing, and it only happens on this lot, I didn't want to build on this and continue building because anywhere on this lot it does that. But at the end of the day, this is where I am, so we'll have to do it regardless. It's kind of funny too because I do feel like this was like originally how it was starting to form when I was building off of it. I feel like they wouldn't build up for like another 50 years or so. I just feel like their infrastructure wouldn't be strong enough because this is like plaster essentially, like not real plaster, but like mud and ground up stone. This is real stone. This is obviously more stable, but the rest of it I think would wear and tear over time and disintegrate maybe after like 10-20 years. Like I don't feel like this house would last all that long, so it's okay. But let's go do that vampire.
Yano Zorpal. Wahosquat.
Oh.
And this is actually Amy's mom who Era drained. So that is going to be really unfortunate for Amy, but at the end of the day, Amy did unalive her own spouse. So we're going to let the Reaper take care of this and jump back into our main household because we have a surprise visitor, or surprise visitors, I should say, and a marriage to get underway, as well as we actually need to sell the items we're crafting because of the fact that we probably cannot pay our taxes. All right, so it is Sunday, the last day of 1315, and Calvin has brought the gang to the rebuilt house that Jedediah burned down. As you can see, there are still some infrastructure left. He kind of wanted to leave it as a reminder as what happened here. John, Merriman, and Calvin basically have become really good friends. Calvin doesn't really know that they're kind of like vigilante bandits that steal from the rich and give to the poor, but he has promised John a job at the inn, and John and his daughter Liza and his son Robin are going to stay in the downtown tavern and inn that Calvin owns, that his ex-wife, she actually did petition, they got divorced. That was just something that happened off camera. His ex-wife Euphema is living in and running. The Merrimans are going to go join them down there and work for Calvin, so that way they kind of have an honest living. But I do think that Robin is going to keep his little Merriman streak. Meanwhile, his sister Eliza is probably going to like turn more into a lady because she kind of has always wanted to, but she is a warrior because she has those skills. They brought Jedediah in. Essentially, they roped him up and he is going to get justice, but little do they know the kingdom has been overrun. So they're going to go straight to see Tamara with the kids. Morgan and Lancelot are her last living children. Nimue is still alive too, but we lost Riker and Gemma. I was so upset. I really wanted Gemma. And tomorrow is Morgan's birthday. So we're going to go visit. Guys, I'm so excited for this reunion. It has been since, 1209? So it's been 6 years since Tamara has seen her children who ran away with their father. Again, they were so young. They didn't really understand what was happening because he promised them a life of adventure. And don't get me wrong, he did deliver on that. But they never got close to their dad. Like, I mean, they kind of did, but not to the level. They just missed their mom. All right, so the soulmates are about to be reunited, guys. Guys, Lancelot was a toddler whenever Jedediah took them. Did you guys see how Tamara looked at Calvin? Guys, I know I set this up, but when I tell you I have chills, I want to cry. I really gave Tamara a rough story. She has already mourned her kids, but she did hope they would all come back. She is gonna cry for Gemma later, but right now she's just happy to love on her kids. Look at this mommy. She is so happy for this reunion, and he did it. And I think Calvin is also looking at like how big Nimue gotten, because it's been, you know, he's been gone for 3 years, I think, looking for them. Oh my goodness. But now it's time to deal with this scaredy cat once and for all. Jacob is here to dole out justice for their family. He's let him and Tamara have let Calvin know the kingdom has been taken over by vampires. So no divorce is going to be granted, no justification, no freedom. They're going to have to take justice into their own hands. And Jacob, because he is the head of this house alder, he is the head of all of these families. He is going to dole out the justice and unalive his brother, because his brother is not only responsible for property damage, which is like the lowest level, right? Property damage of theirs. He's also responsible for the death of his son and his daughter. So Jacob is going to take care of him once and for all. All right, let's watch this go down. Yeah, Jedediah is probably starving too, because I doubt they barely fed him, only enough to keep him alive. Here we go. Oh, Tamara isn't even paying him any mind. Oh, here we go. Everybody's watching the justice. Yes. Come on, get him. Get him. Of course they have a difficult family dynamic. Oh my goodness. This is the thumbnail, guys. For the year 1315, Jedediah got his revenge. Oh, Tamara is so happy. I actually want her to fight him too. For some reason, I don't think the game even registers them as married anymore, which is crazy. But you know what? We don't register them as married anymore either. Mean, malicious. All right, Tamara, give it to him. Ew! He blew her a kiss! What a monster! He dislikes arguments. You know what? You're on the wrong side here, dude. You are the reason we need justice. Tamara is looking at Jedediah or Jacob like these are her heroes. Her life is as good as it could get right now, except for she doesn't have Riker and Gemma. but that is not her responsibility, and she knows that. That is that is Jedediah's fault that she doesn't have her children, and Calvin rescued her other children. So without further ado, let me uncontrol. It says it's hard to be near a child who inspires so much panic and sadness. He hates his children. Oh my gosh, this guy is a monster. All right, guys, it is time to get rid of him. Sim commands. Maintain Sim. Kill Sim. Consumed by the mother. Should I? No, because that's not how he would have died. Death by killer rabbit, because it's funny. All right, here we go. I'll hide my face.
Pray. Wabe Abinka. Stamsi Toyumi. Vinaya Hisla.
Yergazans. Heshino.
The fact that they were all laughing when it happened is the best thing ever. I know they're all crying now, but nobody deserves the crying. We're gonna remove the crying. Whoever's sad about it, no longer sad. Well, actually, they were sad because of what happened to Gemma. Actually, everyone's sad because of Gemma, but what we're not gonna do is be sad about Jedediah getting what's for him. Actually, I don't even think this was my original plan for Jedediah, but it's okay. It's also burning to death. You know what? He was gonna die anyways. And Calvin is so happy he's laughing. This means like enemy's demise, they're laughing about it. All right. His tombstone didn't even show up, guys. That is amazing because he is not going to be allowed to stay here. I'm going to have Tamara and Calvin get married in another episode, but Calvin is going to take Nimue and Tamara to his house where he rebuilt the house that Jedediah burned down. That's the one they're going to live in. And Christine is going to stay here and watch Elijah and Eric. I also need to bring over Pascal's kids because Calvin and Tamara are going to take care of them. But first I have to get rid of the Merrymen. So like I said, the Merrymen are going to live with Calvin's other family, his ex-wife Euphema. This is his nephew Henry. I don't know why he looks like that because I've made him over. But Henry is technically his nephew, but he raised him as his son. As you guys remember, Calvin married Euphema, who was his brother's soulmate. So she was pregnant with his brother's child, but no, Naomi, I thought Naomi was his twin, but Naomi and Ginny are actually Calvin's biological children. But, you know, they're going to probably stay with their mom. That's just probably how it's going to go. They have no hard feelings for their dad. They totally understand it, and their mom has been nothing but supportive. But we're going to have Eliza. Why is everybody getting jewelry? Robin. Oh, no, I don't have enough people. And so we're going to have John, Eliza, and Robin go live in the Godwin Tavern. And I need to, what I'm going to do, the Scotts moved in to help. But maybe they were just doing that to get on their own feet. I'll give them $15,000. That's fine. But now that they're on their own feet, yeah, Calvin's going to pay them $15,000 for helping out his wife while he was gone. And they're going to move somewhere. And last thing we need to do is put Pascal's children with Tamara and Calvin because she did promise to take care of her brother's children. And Amy's child, even though Amy is the reason why she has to. But so Emmanuel, who now has glasses, all my Sims are getting accessories. This is really annoying. So Yvette and Emmanuel are living with Calvin and Tamara. They could technically have a baby because there is room for one more house. So I might let them do that. So Christine is left taking care of her brother Eric and Elijah, which she's a very good person. She wouldn't mind doing that. But Jacob has told his niece Christine that when she gets married to somebody, he will take the boys, so not to worry about it. So she's helping out right now because she's holding out for someone with a higher title. So until then, she'll be taking care of the boys. Okay, so I'm about to do their wedding, so I'm going to have Frederick ask her how many children she wants. I did cheat their romance just a little bit so I can make them get married, but I'm going to take it back down to what it was before so they can work on their relationship. Propose crazy scheme talking about their future. I don't think Frederick is super excited about this, but he does understand. Ask about romantic interest. All right, so let's just watch them. Mary and Frederick getting to know each other. You know, I think this is a lesson for Frederick to realize you don't really always get everything you want in life. But Mary is a sweet girl. By the way, I built a chapel. I don't think I did that right, but I tried my best. And I moved the graveyard. But yeah, so Frederick is probably telling Mary, like, his life story. How he has an uncle who's a vampire and an aunt who's a vampire. And how he was supposed to take over the farm, but due to the famine, it has pretty much wiped out everything that they could profit from. They had to sell all their animals. Well, they may be getting married on one of the hottest days of the year, but they're not going to go hungry thanks to her dowry, which, by the way, I got to fix her money. We can make some food for the family. We're going to make fish head stew because, again, they have the pond. And they've been eating gruel so they can let the fish population thrive in the pond. So they did catch fish for the feast. So we're going to make fish head stew, and then we're going to make vegetable chunk stew thanks to the donation from Mary's father, Colin, and they're going to have bread. So the family is actually really excited. I had Frederick clean up and tie his hair back for the wedding, as well as Tamara made him 2 new outfits. So Frederick now has 3 outfits. He has a wedding wear and then this casual wear. Remember, House Alder's colors are green. The Kingdom's colors are red and gold. So right now, Mary is kind of dressed in like a burgundy and gold based on the Kingdom, but she will be getting married in House Alder colors. Oh, and so she also has an engagement ring on her neck because I have eyelashes in the game. Rings don't work for me. So I decided that from now on, the betrothal will have a ring exchange. But it looks like they're hitting it off. They're kind of flirting. I feel like Frederick is really realizing that although he still has that weird connection in his heart with Tiara, he understands that she may not even be alive anymore, and if she is, she's so far away that he'll probably never see her again. So he's kind of letting go of that attachment and getting to know Mary a little bit more, which is only fair to Mary. But it looks like they're really excited. I'm so happy for them. All right, so the wedding event is starting.
Franche, Morbid,
Eat a bread.
Leap. Momo, Morbid. Was Morbid-ish. Is no end?
Okay, so I did my very best to make the wedding happen. It's The Sims. That is not an easy thing to do. Everybody came in here to eat without the family, and it looks like Ashton got to come home from training, and he is giving his sister such a big hug. I think this may have repaired their relationship. You guys know how he was really resentful towards her when it came to her life expectations, but it's kind of just good to see that they are patching things up. I think he realizes, what kind of life he wants and how hard it is to decide that. So I think he's just supporting his sister now, which is great to see. I'm so glad they mended their relationship, and I'm glad they did it on their own.
Hala ciao.
Noosh.
Famine. On a veg, beloy. Bevamo. Safaba. Even day so.
Watch a Nini chop.
Loba.
So.
Two bow havery. Front sharpie.
Boom. Relation resto. Mazo naba.
I think Halia and Jacob are really happy with everything that's going on for the family. Their oldest son not only survived, he was their firstborn son. He survived every role and he's getting married. So let's pray he survives the famine in 1317 when I have to roll again for everybody. It looks like it looks like Tamara brought Morgan to bond with her. Morgan's birthday is tomorrow, the very next day. The bride is eating in here all alone. She's looking at the children's bedroom. I think she's scared, and I think she just needs a moment to herself because tonight is her wedding night, which we are going to initiate soon because we have to start on the next generation. I'm going to work on uncontrolling. Colin, who is Mary's dad, I think he's really happy to see how, even though he's kind of not rich, but he's doing well off for a peasant, he only has 2 daughters and he knows that he can't take care of them forever because his health is declining. So I think he's really happy to see the family that Mary has married into and know that she's going to be not just taken care of by Frederick, but by the whole family. I think he's really happy for her. Okay, so they are trying for a baby. They are officially married. So when they're done, we're going to see if she's pregnant. I'm so excited. No protection was used. All right, let's have her take a pregnancy test. I'm just going to say that their midwives has a little concoction they can mix in with their urine to see if they're pregnant. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! What an amazing year 1315 has been. Guys, and it's the end of 1315. We made it through the first year of the famine. We don't roll to see who dies until 1317. So in the next episode, it'll be 1316, and we will be having Morgan's birthday and explore a little bit more of what's going on around the kingdoms, and checking in with some long-lost friends and possibly the heir to the throne. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.